What is going on YouTube? My name is Moro and welcome to another tutorial. If you are new to the channel, I make music production tutorials about mixing, mastering, composition and sound design, and I also share my music to the world. If you are on a hurry, do not worry, just jump to the chapters that favor your needs or speed up the video, and make sure to click on the videos on screen and help the channel grow by hitting like, subscribing and turning on the notification bell for further tutorials like these. Anyway, that's not what we're here for, let's get straight into the video. It's possible to create a low-end information that is more stable. It will make your low-end sound better in most speakers. For example, if you have a wavetable that sounds muddy in the low-end spectrum, like this one that I created, you can just click on this little pencil in the top right-hand corner of the oscillator's wavetable image, click on Process, and then on Remove Fundamental HPF. This will basically remove your fundamental frequency, which is the lowest frequency that your wavetable is composed of. I'll show you before and after, and then after. You can see that the fundamental frequency just disappeared because I removed it in the wavetable editor. This will therefore allow you to add a cleaner sub separately, which you can then process all together with your main oscillator the way you like. For example, you can just turn on the sub oscillator, and there you go. There you have a cleaner sub. You can turn it up one octave maybe. If you were to use it with the low end, here you can actually see in this very small spectrum from FL Studio, you can actually see that it's not trembling much, it's more stable. Of course, what you can do as well is remove the next frequency. And you can do this so that your sub is even more stable. What I've been doing lately is also using this technique to create stronger subs. For example, I have this saw wave, simple one, just the init preset from Serum. And I want to add a sub, but if I add a sub, it will start clashing with the fundamental frequency of the saw wave. Because there is already a frequency there, and you know that the low-end information of sound is really sensitive. So what you want to do in this case is go over to the same thing that I explained to you before. Go over to Process, Remove Fundamental. This will allow you to add the sub all together with the saw wave. What you can do right after this, in order to just create the sub, put an EQ and remove anything above 150 Hz, and this is the sound you'll get. As you can see, you don't have the typical sub, which is just one frequency. You have more than one frequency, and you also at the same time you have a more stable sub. There are no frequencies clashing in this case. What you can do as well in FL Studio to crank up the volume is just pick a limiter and turn up the gain and the ceiling a little bit down to avoid any peaks. I'll show you before and after with the low pass. If I undo this, and if I leave the sub on, you can even kind of hear it. It sounds a little bit unstable. If I remove the fundamental, it will give you space for this oscillator to breathe, and therefore will lead to you having a stronger sub. I never really spoke about this in detail, the hypogrowl. By resampling a saw wave with a high unison, you can reduce the number of voices of your resampled saw wave, allowing you to create a cleaner saw stack that is also less heavy in the CPU. I have this chord stack. What you want to do is turn up the unison to around 16 voices. I'm going to go for 12, maybe 13. I'm going to go for 13. And then click on the icon in the top right hand corner of Serum, and then click on Resample to Oscillator A, and this will create you a resampled saw wave. You can then try searching around the wavetable and find a position that you think might suit your saw stack the best. You can then just save the wavetable, and I'm going to stick to the first index, and I'm going to reduce the unison to maybe around 4. It's a little bit detuned, so I'm going to turn down the detune a little bit. I'm gonna also turn on oscillator B and set this one octave up and put this to maybe 16 voices. You can also even turn on the noise oscillator for some extra life in the high end. And from here on, you can then start processing your saw stack the way you want. When it comes to metallic sounds, these sounds are great for snare layering and other sound design ideas you might have. Metallic sounds always sound cool in everything you do. To create metallic sounds in Serum, I'm going to be using the note D2 in FL Studio, which I believe is different from Ableton. I don't know why. I guess that should be like a general rule, but I'm not sure. But go over to Analog and select Basic Shapes and choose the sine wave, which should be the default position of the wavetable, and set the unison to around 10. Turn it one octave up. What you want to do is go over to global and set the range all the way up, and depending on the default note you started, put oscillator A 1, 2, 3 octaves up. I'm going to go for the maximum. And what you want to do is go over to the wavetable editor and start adding more harmonic partials, and maybe also a bit less of the fundamental. After that, go over to the warp mode and select sync window, and just choose whatever you think is best. This will basically transpose the wavetable and make it even higher in pitch. If you want to make it pluck, just modulate the level of oscillator A with an envelope. I'm going to use envelope 2. Set the sustain all the way down and the decay a little bit lower, and assign this to the level. Maybe I think like this, it's fine. For the filter, we will use ring mod, and you just mess around with cutoff and the resonance. Well, actually just the cutoff, because the resonance does not really seem to do anything. In the effects section, what you want to do is turn on the EQ and high pass. So basically click here, the low pass filter, which should be high pass filter, pretty weird, and turn the frequency knob a little bit up. I don't know, maybe just leave it as it is. What you can do as well in order to emphasize the pluck is assign another envelope, sustain all the way down and the decay even lower, to the frequency knob, basically the cutoff of the equalizer. And then from here it's up to you. You can play around with the ring mod, the unison, the detune, maybe add some reverb. With the sync parameters, you can even add less or more harmonic partials. You can resample the sound, I don't know, do whatever you feel like doing. That's it for the video, guys. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to stay updated. And of course, to help a man out, I'll see you in the next one.